Which town is the hydraulics capital of India? Where is one of the most popular brands of helmets made in India? Where are the critical parts of many an Indian space mission, including the revered Mangalyaan, designed and made? Where are racing cars that win across the globe designed, manufactured and exported from? Where do you find someone who thinks of dedicating his life to uplift downtrodden artisans through innovative tools? The answer is not one of the more celebrated industrial hubs of India. The town that has produced entrepreneurs who have succeeded in such diverse areas is Belgaum. Yes, Belgaum in Karnataka of southern India.
Belgaum is a city nestled at the edges of the Western Ghats on a plateau, and it forms the midpoint between Bombay and Bangalore. Belgaum has historically had a lot of talent in anything dealing with working with hands. That starts from agriculture. Anything to make with hand. That is what has given workers year after year to our industries in Udyam.
We've got close to 7 engineering colleges offering BE and master's programs. Almost 8 to 10 polytechnics offering diplomas, plus same numbers again offering the degrees in the management programs. The students' quality is amazing, and of course not just the students get into the employment with the bigger companies, but we could produce many entrepreneurs, and they have been doing exceedingly good, not just in Belgaum but across the globe.
The post-liberalization India saw a surge in the manufacturing sector. But this was still dependent on critical factors such as capital, infrastructure, and logistics that gave advantages to Indian entrepreneurs. Such a surge remained limited to certain traditional pockets and very few new locations in India due to various reasons. Belgaum never had these advantages, and it continues to grapple with real-life infrastructural challenges. Add to that an identity crisis for being a border town between two prominent Indian states that unfortunately led to state government apathy for the longest time. Till very recently, it also had the image of a pleasant little destination, perfect for a retirement life. But then, how did these few entrepreneurs and more like them manage to attain success despite all such real odds in Belgaum? The more important traits of these entrepreneurs from Belgaum are hope and perseverance. They did not have any local legacy to emulate in any business. Everything that could come in the way of their dreams was right there staring at them at their hometown.
Having people around us knowing a little bit of hydraulics, we thought that Belgaum is a better place. We will have low overheads. We can find places. We had friends who could give us some place to work. We could support and sort of thing. That was the reason why we started in Belgaum in the first place. My two friends, one Mr. Chitnis and Mr. Hundre, we were working together in a company. That company used to manufacture hydraulic equipment, hydraulic valves, pumps and sort of thing.
One fine day we decided to have our own enterprise. So we all three, we put 100 rupees and we started our enterprise. And that was the nucleus of our group of industries.
And hiring a big place was very difficult. So my first design office was in our barnyard. And that is where I used to make my first designs of the product that ultimately we started making. To begin with, we were thinking of surviving.
First order of 5,000 rupees that was heaven to us. And that gave us the push.
So those were the challenges we used to face. In spite of that, we thought that we can do it. We did that.
We are in this business since 1989. Initially, as people were not aware of safety or anything as such. But that's the reason it was more challenging. When as helmet compulsion had not come, people were not wearing helmet. We were making good quality helmets. We are very confident. Sooner or later, people will start realizing the value for the product and they will start selling it. So couple of years, in fact, we were not making money and we did not have our own money. A lot of discussion has to happen, should we continue or not to continue? But then I realized one thing, if we stay here in this industry for some more time and if we get one breakthrough, we can move forward. In 1993, after 4 years, we got one export order. It did not give much money to us, but it gave us a huge motivation. And then we realized that our product is, if it is an international standard, let's go all out, take whatever is possible and try to export and all. And many times we get a letter and people writing to us saying that because of you, our life has been saved. Sometimes they send us sweets. Whenever they make a point to come to Belgaum with their parents and all that, today my son is alive because of you. There's one big satisfaction that we save a lot of people's life and people write to us, and that's very, very satisfying.
All my life almost developing and creating new products. I started working very early in life. When I was 21, I developed a bulletproof helmet for the Indian Army, which I believe they're still using. I was in fiberglass from the time I was about 21 years old. And then we got into, with Dishan, my son, we got into manufacturing go-karts.
We make a large range of go-karts that suits in almost every application of karting that there is. So when I finished my engineering, my mechanical engineering in '97, there was around that time people setting up karting tracks in India, and they were importing their karts. That sort of, hit the switch right over there, and we got into making our first prototype kart. This was in the year 98 or 99. So we didn't have the means to import a kart and fudge it, and copy it. And I think that's what's really set us apart from the other people who make karts in India, because we started ground up. We built our first karts by just doing a lot of reading, a lot of homework, a lot of research, making chassis, testing them on tracks, understanding why they failed, why they didn't handle, and going back to the drawing board, reinventing the chassis, so to say. It was like that for us. We had to really actually invent everything ourselves. When we were beating other brands, when we had drivers who would get out of our cart and say, my God, this is such a forgiving chassis. We heard a lot of these sort of things, and this all came from the fact that we were sitting down and just doing all our geometries and all our design ground up. And that's kind of reviews that we got from all over the world when we eventually started exporting to various countries.
My organization is Phoenix Products. We have been developing products and disseminating the products that are required by the rural artisans, especially for people who are using their hands and physical energy, and also make a lot of innovative products which are basically used to increase the productivity of artisans and reduce the drudgery. Less people chose this path, and there was a big opportunity which I could see. The problems are huge, and as a simple entrepreneur, I could see a lot of opportunity in solving these problems. We have seen a lot of development not happening for the 80% of the poor people. 80% of the research happens for the 20% of the elite people. So nobody is focusing on the rural people or the poor people, I can say. And the change required is very little. For example, for the charkha that we have been talking, all the charkhas were earlier hand-driven. We have converted to a foot-driven charkha. Very initially, we were short of funds. There was a lot of investment happening in the jigs, fixtures, toolings. So we had to borrow a lot of funds at a very high interest rates. When we found that these high interest rates can be sustained with a good product, and we were able to tide over that problem of hitting the rock bottom and coming back.
In servo controls, we do closing of the total systems for aircrafts, satellites, fighter jets, missiles, then steel rolling mills, industrial equipment and construction equipments, paper industries.
As soon as I finished my diploma, I wanted to start my own business, and Deepak was working with high-end controls company, which is one of the world's #1 company in this area.
And something has to strike to come back to India. One of the main reason is that after the Pokhran test, India was isolated by the sanctions, and Kalam Saab had always, I was working with a lot of programs in India, and he actually shot out the invitation to many people across the world, telling that come to our nation. What is the glory in basking the glory of the foreign nation? Come and serve our nation. And literally when I came to India, I enjoyed Dinesh, because Dinesh was operating from house in a garage.
We started with 2 of us, and today we are almost 220 people and almost around 90,000 square feet facility.
There is a thrilling journey from home garage to Mars orbit, because when the Mars mission took place, actually all the position sensors have gone from servo controls. So still they are orbiting up there in the Mars orbit. We are serving the nation because we were part of each and every critical program of India.
But they simply loved their hometown, and none of them had any animosity towards its shortcomings. They gave importance and due recognition to gaining education and skills. For them, the quality of their output remains uncompromised at all costs. Professionalism, innovation, and compassion in all conducts is their second nature. One can find virtues of tenacity and passion in all that they do. Their tolerance towards ambiguity has been legendary, and perhaps one of the most important reasons for their success.
The entrepreneur should be very honest and sincere to his business, what he is doing.
Setting very large goals are very difficult, because he has to take small steps to reach there. It is very important that he should not focus only on the large goal. All incremental things are more important than the end goal.
Jack of all, but master of one, not none.
We will put in all our efforts. I have always thought that success is 95% hard work and 5% luck. So I am very much confident that being here in Belgaum, we have the tools, we have the people, and we have the knowledge to achieve what we can.
Believing in yourself and the idea that you are trying to pursue will overcome all the hurdles, problems and failures that in the short term you face.
Focus on systems right from the word go. We did that mistake. We said let us establish them, then let the systems come in. But then with now having done that, we realize that it's not correct. Because if you have systems right from day one, life becomes much more simpler as you go, and we can always come out of the crisis much faster if we have a good set of systems.
Follow your heart, stick your neck out, take the risks, because that's what makes you different.
Never give up. Just stick to your business with your goals. Try to hear and take the inputs and put it together and move forward.
They rise above uncertainty. They shine despite odds. Let's celebrate their madness. They came from a town unsung, and they built it their own way. The Belgaum way.